What's up, guys? It's Bri, aka Geo here, and I am bringing you a journey through Street Fighter 6 rank system. The goal is to hit master rank here soon, hopefully. However, this is the first bulk of it. So you can see for the title of the video, this is from bronze to platinum. So what we're gonna do here is we're going to look at my VODs and see some of the characteristics of what I'm doing, of what I've learned throughout my matches, and just kind of walk you through my whole process. It's been a big difficult of it. It took a lot of like mental. I think the biggest part for me was mental, not being used to the Street Fighter dynamic. But without further ado, let's take a look at it. And if you want to watch this live, you're more than welcome to come check out this stream. All right, so for the first match here, we have a Terry, which is my main. It's actually the only character that I really play versus like modern Cammy. So at the beginning of my journey, I had a lot of issues with classic versus modern, and to some extent I kind of still do, but I understand the point of where it's from, and I also understand that if a character beats me with modern, then I messed up at the fundamentals, and a lot of this game is the fundamentals, right? So I'm kind of over that whole concept of modern versus classic. It does make the learning curve at the beginning very annoying, because when I'm in lower ranks, I see people pull very difficult, like pretty technical things for me that I know they're only pressing one or two buttons to do versus the complicated mechanics that it would do to this in classic. But all you does is pushes you to become better. So back directly to this gameplay, you can tell I'm pressuring the Cammy, right? That's the biggest thing I'm maintaining. My combos are not too complicated, they're not too extra, they're pretty simple. I'm trying to work on my zoning. One of the biggest things is, I forget the name of the attack, the one where he rushes with the little blue punch. I use that to close out the distance. As you can tell right there, she was spamming me, so that's an issue that I've had at this part of my silver 4 elo. Is I don't know how to defend against this, right? So I got a perfect parry. Okay, what do I do with that? She backed up, she created space. I could have punished that space. You see, I'm just whiffing. I'm doing this for no purpose. So definitely a lot of lessons to learn here yet. I still have a lot of way to go before platinum, but some of the fundamentals, which is the key thing that I worked on. The key thing that I wanted to work on was the fundamentals, right? I haven't learned any cool combos. I haven't learned how to use the green little rush thing. I haven't learned how to use a lot of the things, right? I'm still kind of struggling with anti-air, even though I'm kind of getting it. One of the biggest things I wanted to do is I didn't want to worry too much about those things in the so-called lower ranks. Now that I reach plat, I'm gonna get more technical with it, and I'm gonna start learning more of the higher skill techniques so I can improve my game a little bit more. At this point, all I really wanted was to focus on the basics. As you can tell, there was no point in doing that. I'm just whiffing for the sake of whiffing, right? I lost the match, as you can tell right here, and I lost it purely because I play wrong with my super. So that's definitely a lesson to learn. But Cammy won that one. I'm kind of showing you guys my losses to see the errors in my ways, and as we see some of the later gameplays, we can kind of see where we grow from it. Alright, so right here we have another match with a Lily, a modern Lily, right? So kind of gives me, when I see modern, I kind of know how they're going to be playing. So they're going to be very punishing with their combos, and they're going to necessarily don't work too well with the fundamentals, so I can exploit a lot of that, right? Because they're not gonna be good at comboing. I mean, they're not gonna be good at defending my combos and stuff like that. So that's something that I'm mindful here. As you can tell, I kind of see that she's doing the same thing a little bit over again, and I kind of get a feel for how she's playing, kind of get an idea for how she's playing, and I'm gonna try to punish that, right? So the biggest thing, and this is kind of really my play style, right? And I'll be fully honest with you, if you play against me once and you're a good player and you read me, like you see, all I am is I'm here to punish you. I'm gonna pressure you and punish you. But if you can just counter my pressure and then like give me a real hard punishment, because my combos don't go anything harder than 3 hit, and then as you can tell, I kind of expand on them a little bit. But this is my little exploitation right here. As you can tell, I'm trying to go for that little long distance punch, but she catches me, right? I was close, very close, but she caught me. No big deal. We're gonna see what happens in the next round. All right, so this is round 2. I'm gonna try to maintain the pressure, right? Now I kind of have a good feeling for how she's playing, so I'm gonna try to counter out that. I'm gonna try my best here. This is my basic of my combos, right? I get a little chance and I try to go for my super. That super I utilize so much, but that basic combo right there, that's something I definitely work on. Something I definitely need to work on as well is countering my DI countering DI with DI. I'm very bad at doing that. So right here, I gotta sat in the corner and I didn't know how to get out of it, and I didn't utilize my DI properly. But right now, I could tell that she's in her head because she's exhausted, and I went trying to grab for the grab because she kept blocking me, but I wasn't utilizing it well. So that was also another loss right there. But we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the next one. So this is against a Yuri, a modern Yuri, which I used to dread these because she used to be very, very, very difficult for me to beat. But I've kind of worked a little bit more into it, and I've got a little more comfortable with my playing against her. So let's move the camera a little bit out of the way here. Trying to figure out the best place to put it where it's not totally in the way. There you go. I feel like that's a good little place to put it so you can look at the bar as well. So that little thing, the little super that I don't know what it's called. I'm gonna call it the geeked out super. Yeah, the little geeked out super that I do, I'm using it a lot with my combos. It knocks them down, so it kind of makes me easy for me to do a follow-up from that. But one thing that you're gonna start noticing, especially in this match, is I'm getting better at using my DI, right? So a lot of times when I get caught off a combo, right, I try to go for my combo, but I get blocked all of it. Then they immediately go into auto attack, right? They go into auto attack and put me on their own combo. So what can I do? Throw some DI there. So that's something I've been working on. That right there that just happened, that is something that I still need to work on right now. Is let's I'm gonna rewind it real quick to show you guys what I'm talking about. So I knocked her down, right? I get right close to their face and I keep the pressure going. I knock them down, go for a good combo, right? That's good. I get on her face, boom. I get too close to them and I lay myself open for that kind of counter attack off the knockdown. That is something I definitely need to work on, and it kind of struggles for me because my whole idea, and I kind of come from the Tekken world, is to just pressure. But the cross up has been huge for me, and I'm noticing that a lot of people struggle with kind of telling what to do. But as we're gonna see here, I kind of whiffed that last second, but I'm very close. So when it gets to like low health bars, people kind of start getting in their head a little bit. They start making mistakes. So that is the best place. Like I told you guys, I don't know if you're here for curious for my journey or if you're here for tips and tricks, but it's all about the mental. Even when it comes to like other games like League of Legends and stuff like that, a lot of the videos and a lot of the things that I learned, especially from Ludwig, is don't start getting in your head. Don't start tilting. The second you start tilting, it goes crazy. But you can also utilize other people's tilts for your favor. She could have won that. She had every opportunity. Like, check this out, dude. Like, look how she's playing it nice and slow, but she's got really little and she goes crazy with it. And if she could have just played right, she could have had that. But she didn't. And that's a lot of the thing. Don't tilt. Focus, stay in your head, and don't tilt. As long as you keep that in mind, you're gonna have a better understanding for the game. Not even a better understanding. You could just outsmart the other player. A lot of this game is like chess, and that's something that I struggled with learning at first. I thought it was like hit, keep going, pressure. But what separates good fighting game players from non-good fighting game players is the mental. All about your mentality. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next video. All right, so a quick little backstory in this one. This is an Ed Classic, right? So it's somebody that has probably put in a lot of effort to learn the nitty-gritty of the game to make it this far. I mean, it's only silver 5. It's nothing crazy. But interesting about this one is he plays a very specific way that immediately counteracts me. And once I understood that, I could win him back-to-back. But this first round, he's going to beat me in. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. The faces at the beginning of the match still get me every time. Hope you guys like the look. We're going to officially call this one the Homeless Man look. I'm going to shave here soon. Looking all scrappy and Scooby-Doo-ish. Got a little haircut. But anyways, let's take a look at the game, right? So he's good at blocking. He's blocking my combos, right? And he's definitely punishing me whenever I whip my things. And he has good combos. Like, that's a really good combo. Like, I know Terry's capable of doing combos like that, but I can't do it. So he's definitely good at utilizing his space. So he definitely gets away from my hard knuckle, I think it's called. Blue punchy. He gets away from a blue punchy. Okay. From my long distance blue punchy. And then counteracts it with his own way. He's good at blocking, but the low block, that's when I hit him with the non-long range blue punch. I really need to learn the name of these attacks. But the non-range blue punch, and that's kind of like my little tactic. But I take a L in the first round, and he's punishing me by blocking and knowing when I'm vulnerable. So that's something I'm gonna learn. You gotta start seeing it right there where I went for the parry question mark. I don't know what it's called. Where I went for the parry mode in there. It's very difficult to call things blue because everything in this game seems to be blue. Big thing there that I've been getting good at, right? So he's doing parry. Let's go the parry. So as you can tell right there, he's getting. I'm trying to utilize the parry already to my advantage because I'm having difficulty of properly countering whenever I get caught out of place. So now I know that he likes to block. So when I get a chance, I'm utilizing my throw a little more. That's a big thing that I've learned throughout my ranks is utilizing the throw. As you can tell, he's doing it too. You know, I could have done a parry there, or I could have done a lot of things, but I didn't, so I took an L. So we're gonna go ahead and skip to the next game, right? So I started with a cross and then went into my little good old reliable combo. So he's blocking, but he's not punishing me too much because he knows that he can find the opening, so I don't give him the opening. I see he's starting to block and then I went for the grab. That's the part of me learning, right? So as long as I can maintain that pressure, then we're gonna be good. Maintaining the pressure. Now he's getting his head because his little blocking thing, I'm counteracting it. So whenever people start getting in their head, they start spamming DI. So when I see that he starts spamming DI, once again, we go back to that mental. So the mental is getting in his head. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I have this. I just have to slowly play it and win. That was kind of dumb because he could have just blocked, right? So now he's going for the block. I went for the grab. I whiffed it and then I went for it again and I still got it. So I won with a grab. That's something that utilize your grab. That's something that it took me a little while to do, is utilizing my grab. I talk with my hands a lot, you guys tell. Chest hands. Utilizing my grab. Even just there, I just did it. So this guy lobs to block me, right? He lobs to block me, so I can use that against him. Boom. Hit him with the grab. Simple as that. He's just a blocker, right? He's a blocker looking for my opportunities. Now I realize that my parry is faster than my block. So I kind of hit it with the parry real quick. So now I'm trying to get him on the cross. Trying to get him on the cross and trying to get a combo going. You know, punish that. So if he sees that, simple little punish, win. And then we'll look at the third match and we'll go on to the next. We'll go on to gold from here. So just kind of give you an idea of what it was like for me in silver, and then we'll kind of take a look at gold. Same concept as before. I'm playing it the same way because that works, right? He's a blocker. That's what he's gonna do. I'm gonna try to close the range. The second I close the range and I whiff, take a look at right here. We'll look at that again, right? So I go for the cross, whatever. Create the range. Go for it. I miss. He immediately goes for attack and I parry. So you see, I'm getting better at anticipating the blocks. I could have also done a DI. That's also a thing I've been doing, but it's always hit or miss what's gonna happen. So the parries is good because the parries come out a little faster than the DI, and the DI is very easy counterable, right? So I'm getting better. I gotta counter him. He still caught me, right? And now he's putting the pressure on me. But the biggest thing is, don't let it get to me, right? I'm also being very good at looking at my resources. As you can tell right here, I can't go for a big damage dealer because I only have one super bar. So I just keep all reliable, maintain the pressure. He gets in his head and he doesn't know, right? Now, that was kind of a whiff. I didn't have the room. You know, every time he gets in the corner, he goes for the DI. That's something that I've been able to read. Now that I know that he's always going to go for the DI, I can utilize that for my advantage. So we're going to see how I win round 2. I already spoke to this at the beginning. I win the back-to-back, right? So he starts with big punisher, right? So keep it simple. He's blocking all my attacks, right? Now I see that he's going back to that blocking. So all I gotta do is play slow. Boom, quick parry and the DI. He's getting pretty comfortable with that parry, right? So now I use the punishing. And what's my punisher? The grab. That was dumb, right? It wasn't utilized properly by him. That's dumb on his part, not on my part. Like I should do that, but he's not utilizing it properly. So big thing right here. Look at that. I have the energy for it. All I gotta do is block this. Wait, I thought I went. Alright, well, it's the end of that match. I lost. He was able to kind of tell how I was playing. I could have played that a little bit better and probably would have won. So good on him. He won that one. But we're gonna call that it for our silver one. Let's go ahead and take a look at our gold, right? So a quick little background. I got pretty lucky with gold because I kind of figured it out, right? I kind of figured out the fundamentals. I kind of figured out how to exploit a lot of the things that are exploitable. And at this point, it was just a race to get to plat. I actually went, I want to say, on a 14 win streak, which just launched me through gold, man. I went through gold and less than 30-45 minutes. Make sure you're catching the stream. Somebody gave me really good advice. I don't think I have any footage of here, but one of the things that I was told, it's a lot, one of the type of characters that I struggle with is somebody that's very big with grabbing, right? Because it's not always the easiest to tech a grab. You can try, but for me especially, I can't always tech the grab. So one thing that I learned is the neutral jump. So what I've been doing is I've been jumping neutral. Like, I haven't been attacking, I haven't anything. I just jump, and then that leaves him open, and then I can go right and counter. But I was lucky enough that I got somebody from stream actually gave me that tip, and I've been utilizing it. Let's see if we have any footage of it. But this is gold. This is gold 5. Now we're doing the push for plat, and as you can tell, I go back and forth a few times before I get it. I don't have any footage of me getting plat, but then we're gonna take a look at some plat gameplay after this. This is against a Sagat. Alright, so before this he beat me, so this is the rematch, right? So I got a little feel for how he plays. So maintain the pressure, right? Maintain the pressure. He could easily punish me, but he's not, right? There's a lot of places where I'm kind of whiffing. I'm kind of whiffing here. So we're just gonna go ahead and see how well he does. So quick win, right? I got some good little combos, nothing crazy, and he was able to punish a lot of my misses. So a lot of misses there, but now maintain the pressure on him, nice and slow. Utilize your DI properly, right? So now he knows he's in the corner, he has to get out, so he goes for a grab. It's a good play on his regard. He's really big with his fireballs, so I'm using the tech, and I'm using the jump to my advantage. So put him in this place, put him back in the corner. He doesn't know what to do. Now he's blocking me, so I go for the DI. He counters the DI. A little bit once you start getting deeper into gold, DI as an offensive tool is not that effective. As a defensive tool, it can be very, very, very effective. And we're going to see what that means here in some other rounds. So we're going to see. I catch him off, and I can, once again, what I told you guys is about that mental. He got in his head. He got in his head, and I went for the cross, and I got it. He could have won. Him and some anti-air, he could have easily won that game right there. But once you start getting so close, when I hit him with that ult, the 2 super, he got in his head now. Now he's a little tilted. So now he has to try really hard. So all I got to do is maintain the pressure and win. All I have to do is maintain calm and don't switch things up. And then boom. He's blocking me. He's blocking me, my basic little combo. So I just gotta try to keep catching him. As you can tell, that's one of the biggest things that I do. I like to, as soon as they go down, go for the cross up. So that's using the DI a little bit defensively. And a lot of times in this game is monkey see, monkey do. Using the DI defensively. I know he was caught in the middle of a attack. So I can use that for my advantage. So right here we're gonna take a look against a match with a Lily. So I'm not sure if I lose or win this one, but it's a modern Lily. So very similar to what we saw earlier, right? Try to use DI, but your DI is very counter. So be very, very sparing with how you use your DI. She monkey see, monkey do, right? So she see me use my DI, so she goes for her DI as well. Her gameplay and it's more about understanding the punishers and stuff like that than being very technical, which is very interesting. As you can tell, I'm starting to see how she kind of plays, and I want to counter that. And I'm not gonna sit here and blame my losses on modern. So as you can tell, go for the cross, and punish. Go for the cross and punish. That's all I gotta do, right? So she misses. I take it. I do appreciate the fact that they do 20% less damage. Otherwise, that would have been devastating. But that's something that I learned right there. As soon as you come out of a hard knockdown, come off a hard knockdown onto an anti-air. It just works a lot of the time because people are not ready for it. It works on me. It works on me a lot. I mentioned it earlier. So maintain the pressure and then just keep going. As you can tell, I'm being a lot more technical with the way that I do my punishing, right? So I try to work really hard for those crosses and I don't maintain too consistent. But right there, that's what I need to work on, is not giving them those openings, because the more and more I climb up in the ranks, the more those punishing those openings are going to be. There you go. Use your DI defensively instead of offensively. I kind of whiffed that. I thought I had a chance, but I didn't. But that's okay. You know, you can't get in your head about it. Now she exhausted herself, right? So I can use that for my advantage. I got lucky here where I landed a little too early because she didn't time it well, and I was able to get the the little upper hand on her. So throw a little DI because I know she can't counter DI me, right? And she's gonna take some kind of damage and easy little win. So we're gonna take a look at 2 more gold games and then we're gonna take a look at our plats. All right, so right here we're playing it against an Akuma. Let's go ahead and take a look. So maintain the basics of the combos. There you go. Take a look at this. We're gonna take a look at this real quick, right? So how I use that DI to work in my favor. So he's blocking me, right? And I knew I didn't have enough of a window to block his, so I went for a DI so I can kind of take advantage of that. And I got lucky where I didn't buy that whole hit. So just keep him in the corner and maintain that pressure, right? Once I know people get in their head, they're gonna either start DIing or trying to do something crazy to get out of the corner, and I can utilize that to punish them. So creating some distance, I want to see what he does. All right, he's gonna start blasting fireballs. He's waiting for me to come to him, which is very smart. So I go to him and I go for the cross up. Immediately try to switch things up, but boom, now I get caught. Now I'm starting to feel that he's starting to see my my little very air heavy gameplay. I'm definitely a very air heavy gameplay guy, so I gotta be careful of that. You know, I'm in the corner, use the eye, I see an opportunity to cause some damage, I do some damage. I kind of whiffed that because I could have done for the 2 hit instead of the 1 hit, but alas, that's gonna cost me the round if I remember right. I got in my head, you know, I let the tilt come to me. You see, it's getting so close, and then I started tilting. You like, what was that DI? What was the point of that DI? There was no point. So it's all about staying calm and breathing. I am not imperious to tilt, so I tilted myself in that one. I lost that round for myself. He didn't outplay me. He didn't do anything different than what he was doing. As you can tell from the previous round and even this round, the gameplay is still the same, but I let myself lose the mental game. So the biggest advice I can give you guys is definitely be mindful of that mental. So right here, I took a little breather, nice and calm, and we're able to win. We're gonna take a look at 1 more gold gameplay, which should be the rematch against him. So now I know how he plays, right? I know what his weaknesses are. I know how to get exploited, and I know not to be silly with my air, because as you can tell, you can punish that. So based on that, I go for another one, and I can see if I can get the W again. So go for cross-ups. He's not very good at handling cross-ups, maintaining the pressure, and there's my mistake. I don't know if you guys caught it. I get too close after the hard knockdown, so he can do anti-air, like his duked out anti-air, and kind of catch me. I got kind of lucky there where I was able to sort of counter his DI. Neutral kicks are so clutch in this game. So now I'm close to it. Just maintain the neutral pressure. That DI was, I'm going to call it, that DI wasn't a bad move because he was doing very aggro there and I couldn't kind of catch him. But in that instance, he was able to utilize that to punish me, and it happens. Now I'm going to try to maintain the pressure. That's the biggest thing I can do, especially with someone like him. I see the opportunity. Look, that was like half his health that I just took right there off the rip for free. I missed the jump. I could have definitely caught him right there, but I missed the cross-up jump, and then boom, easy W. I have more than half my health. Now that I know how he plays, I know what works and what doesn't work. As you can tell, I'm still definitely jumping, but I'm not jumping as much as I was before. So that's definitely good. Something also to be mindful of is teching the grab. I've come to learn that more times, especially now in these lower ranks, sometimes the easiest way to counter the whenever they go green, the green mode, is I got a little too feisty with the air, like with all the jumping, and he kind of caught me. We're gonna go ahead and skip to some plat gameplay, right? So that's kind of how I play in gold. I show you guys how I was playing in silver. Definitely a lot more methodical with the way that I play until we made it to plat. Mind you, I just want you guys to remind you, most of this was done in like 2 days. So don't think that this is me grinding over months. This is literally 2 days. So let's go ahead and take a look at plat. So this is actually my very first ever match in plat that I recorded. Honestly, there's not much change. There's only like 3 or 4 matches. We're gonna go over all of them, but there's not much difference in the way that I was playing in gold that I was playing in plat. So this match was kind of an easy one, if I'm being honest with you guys. He was really easy to read. You know, there you go with my DI, which that was kind of probably dumb. As I can tell, he's not the best at blocking that little combo that I do. So I kind of take advantage of that, you know. Definitely was kind of dumb with the DI here. Now he's trying to counter me. He's going for parries. He's going for things like that to kind of stop the pressure. So I'm starting to become a little mindful of that. I can still kind of catch him with the cross-ups, which is good. So once the cross-ups start not working, then I'm going to start going for grabs, which I think I do later on this match. Or maybe on the rematch. But I'm looking for that cross-up. He's not punishing my on the kind of like I call it a knowledge check, right? I think it's called that on Tekken as well. He's not punishing my jumping, so I'm definitely being a little bit too egregious with it. I am jumping all over the place because he's not really working on his anti-air, right? Like, yeah, you parry that good, but you're still not blocking. I catch him mid-attack. I use my DI mid-attack, and that's how I can get him. I'm not also being very smart at using throws or anything of the sort, so that's kind of on me. So I get the W. I get the back-to-back win. But then we go here for the rematch, and if my memory serves me right, he actually beats me. I know for a fact I lose one round, but I think I win overall the match. So we'll go ahead and take a look at it. So he starts off a little feisty, you know, has nice little speed added to him. I don't know if you guys are seeing it, but I'm seeing a little lag on here. I don't know why. So he almost perfects me, by the way. My method that I was working on, I'm kind of getting in my head. I'm not pulling the combos that I want to pull. I'm not punishing the grabs. So this is a interesting thing to think about, right? I'm still looking for those cross-ups, but he's still hitting me with those grabs. Grabs are very easily punishable, so that's something you need to be mindful of here. I went for the DI, right? So I got caught in a block, and I knew he was going to give me a parade of hits, so I went for the DI. I think that was a good move, but on my part, I think that was a good idea. You know, use the DI very defensively, don't offensively. I kind of just got lucky there with my move, but also kind of don't always get in your head about countering DIs with DIs. I especially suck at it. I don't know why, but my pinky refuses to be autonomous of itself and react to a DI. Like, I be doing my thing and my index finger is quicker to it than just my pinky just like automatically being like, oh, DI. So for me, I much rather, which is bad. This is bad. I'm like, do not do this. This is like, I need a big sign that says, do not do this, kids. Do not try to push through the DI. Maybe there's times when that's the right move, right? But everybody knows the best method for countering a DI is DI. So, you know, do that. Hit him right here with a little 3-hit. Got a nice little bit of damage, and then we're on our way. Use the DI defensively, and then boom. One thing about the DI as well is when you're gonna push it, make sure that they're either mid animation or in a point where they won't be able to really counter out that. Again, any player that's watching this, you can just say counter air me. You can counter air me, and you have this match in the bag. So it's all about knowing what works and what doesn't work. So right here we're gonna play against an M-Bison. So this is an interesting match. I'm not quite remembering if I win or lose, but we're gonna go ahead and take a look at it anyways and see where it goes. M-Bison looks so different than what he used to look like back in the day. Also completely unrelated. Did you guys see the Game Awards? I just watched them today. This is filming on the day of that. Look at that. It's so easy. That's why you can't rely on DIs, man. They're so easy to counter. And this guy is good because he's a classic player and he's using some pretty cool combos. The only, and I hate to say this, like, I personally think, no, I lie. He's a modern player. Never mind. I take all that praise back. I'll take all that praise back. I was gonna say, like, I think you should have deserved the W, right? Especially if you're pushing that kind of combos. I mean, which he's not. He's just pressing one button. But hold on 1 second. But I would give him all the compliments on winning, because definitely some pretty interesting and good combos for sure. But at the end of the day, like, you could be the best at doing combos if you don't understand the basics and the complexity of the game as to when you should attack and when you shouldn't. Then no amount of combos is going to do that, because like right here, yes, look at that, look all of the damage that you're doing, right? But because if I'm a better player and I understand when to attack and when to not attack, how to punish and how not to punish, then I can use that for my advantage. Right here I read him, right here I catch on, right? So he's going for my blocks, so maintain the pressure, but realize that he's going for my blocks. I got a cool little air here, and this is after you pulled a 3-hitter like that on him. That's when people start getting in their head, trying to go for that cross up, but he's going again with the very predictable block. So you just punish it. You punish the block, because the block in this game is such an easy punish. I think he reads me here of how I've been playing against him. I think he wins this next round. Wait, I think this is supposed to be my plat game player. Okay. Maybe I was wrong. Oh no, I am plat. I keep looking at him like I'm me. I was like, he's gold 5. No, but I'm plat in this one. Again, I caught him mid-attack, and that's when I throw my DI. So now that I kind of know what he's about, I can kind of punish him a little easy. So now I know that I give him an opening, I'm giving him some room, but I punish that opening with the DI. Some of those mechanics I kind of wasn't for at the beginning, because they seem kind of cheese at first, right? They seem kind of cheap. But once you understand how the game works, then I'm okay with it. Now he's going for a loop. He's going for a basic combo, right, without switching it up, which I do a lot. This was dumb right here. There was no need to do that. So I can tell that he went for that little thing, so I kind of just blocked it. I realized the sequence that he's going for, and then I'm trying to catch around for him to punish him. He's if he was a classic player, he would have killed me by now because of all the damage that he's doing. But I'm looking for my area to punish him, right? He's playing very passively. You know, that was dumb DI. There was, like I said, do not be offensive with your DI. There's a place and a time for it, and DI is really good for defense, right? You can punish and attack with DI if you catch him mid-attack. So there, I kind of got in my head because I couldn't catch him, and so I started kind of spamming DI a little bit, and that was the thing. What did he beat me on, guys? If you guys have learned anything from all this conversation, what did he beat me? He beat me at the mental. Because in that round, he beat me at the mental. Because in that round, I could not get past his block. And he kept catching me off guard. And even now, he still is. And then boom, I start just fucking randomly pulling out DI out of my ass. Because I'm getting in my head. So I just have to stay simple with it. Work on the cross. Simple combos. Kind of whiff that. But there you go. Simple combos. That was a good point in using the DI. Utilize the space. Now he's in his head because that tiny little whiff. Push for the W, and then you get the W. And that's kind of been my journey. What have I learned? The biggest thing, and for those of you guys that watch my streams, one of the biggest things that I have is I was a big hater of Modern at the beginning, right? Because I felt like a lot of players were using these things and were giving me hard punishers where I didn't feel that they served those hard punishers. Now that I've grown a little bit on my Street Fighter journey, to call it that, definitely a little bit more different mentality. And if you couldn't beat me like that with Modern, then you couldn't beat me like that with Classic, just being a better player, and that's fine. I need to grow myself becoming a better player. So just pushing forward, letting you guys know what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start studying more of the complicated combos, more of the kind of, I feel like I got the basics of the game. I made it to plat. I got the basics of the game. Now the path forward to hitting masters is to being more direct with my combos, really punishing those things, and don't allowing myself to get caught open as much. And the biggest thing I also need to work on is not being so depending on air, because as you can tell, so much of my gameplay is based on jumping around. It's like that song, jump around, jump around. But I kind of digress. It's not being so relying on air, and work on my own anti-air and do things a little bit more with a purpose. So start going less for punishing simple combos and have a purpose for every attack that I do. But hopefully I'll see you guys here soon, and hopefully we do a video for the next rank. Interesting enough, this climb is gonna be a lot slower than the last climb, because I think right now I'm on like a 5 or 6 win streak. I'm still plat 1. I'm on like a 4 to 6 win streak, I don't remember, but for some reason it's not giving me that big boost that it was giving me earlier. So I'm not getting like 200 LP or 300 LP as I was having when I was going through gold. There were matches where I went up like a whole ranking in one match, where I was ranking up a match. It was insane. I don't see that happening here in plat. So the climb is going to be more methodical, which gives me more chance to focus on the things that I need to learn. So moving forward, more into training mode and stuff like that. But like always, thank you guys for checking the video out. I really enjoy, and come check out the stream. Come check it out live. I'm really bad at it because I'll be in the middle of like watching, like in the middle of a game, and I'll be like reading the stream, and I'll be like responding as I'm in the middle of a match. And it's definitely not good. It's cost me a few matches, but at the same time, it's actually helped me win some matches. So if you think you can give me some advice on how me become better, more than welcome. But with that, we're gonna put a little moratorium on this video. Hope you guys enjoy, and like always, stay warm.